All right, let's get this thing on the road. There's a inevitability. Well, there's an inevitability. Damn, I fucked that up. There's an inevitability of you figuring out that damn, bro, I had it all planned. I forgot it, bro. It was like there's an inevitability. There's an inevitability. There's God damn, nigga, shit. There is a inevitability of you understanding that you have a lack of knowledge based off the knowledge that you know. I don't like how I worded that, but it was okay. There's an inevitability of you understanding that you know less than you actually know based off the knowledge that you already have. So the more knowledge that you have cultivated and inherit, you see that there's more to earn, so you know less. I wouldn't say it's a pursuing paradox, but I think it's a simple common sense. The more you know, the less you know, I guess, in some manner of speaking. But I think the reason I even started the video like that was because I learned something new today that wasn't really perhaps a creative outlet of some sort. Like it wasn't really a needed. It was like maybe a waste of time of learning that, but it was kind of helpful. And I guess that was the issues of like why I couldn't sleep. I used to blame it on insomnia or like the blue light and stuff like that. I don't know. And I figured out why. Yeah, I don't know. My brain just you know is what it is. But anywho, how are you doing? How are you doing? Are you doing it? I'm doing. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I don't know how I'm doing. You know, it's been iffy. This is a crazy thing that creativity can be altered and cultivated by lack of emotion or lack of love in some areas. Instance, like a relationship could break a man so well that he creates the most beautiful cooperative theory or psyop or some type of music in a way just to cultivate or express his emotion in a different way that it soothes the mind but also creates this barrier that invokes emotions for you damn near to cry. I don't have a song like that. I thought I did, but now listening back, it's not hitting the same. So no, I feel like there's gonna be some songs that I create that I'm gonna be tired of because somebody's gonna tell me to play it because that's my favorite song. And sometimes your best work doesn't get noticed and your worst work does, but it's the best in their eyes. So with that, it's a crazy thing. It's a crazy way to really see everything. We have a innate, you know, an innate way to initialize things. I guess I don't know, cause when it comes to like just like experiencing things or being philosophical or anything to do with psychology, it's be like I feel or it's always I feel or there's a tendency or based off of this or the lack of this or you don't express emotions in a correct way or you don't give yourself grace. I think I have so many videos of that instance that it gets to the point where it's repetitive, and I feel like, see, and I feel like it gets on my nerves when I watch it back, because I used to not watch my videos back because I was scared of the critiques, and everybody's a critic. I don't really get that many critiques like that, but I get critiques on my YouTube shorts because they're short, so people are just gonna insult you for no reason. I got called or slur just for one of my videos because I said what I say. I was like, oh, videos coming out, you should come watch, enjoy. You might like what you like, and then yeah, I got called a slur for no reason. like word, I was like, dang. I checked the account. It was just some random white kid. I was like, damn. That's good. I like, damn. I didn't know racism was like that strong. But we is in the South, so if you had a VPN, it probably would change the area you are at. But for me, I guess not. But can't really be too mad. You know, I am an egotistical piece of shit, so maybe I'm deserving of it. And I did a study on self hatred, right? And self-hatred is a sign of obsession of oneself, not even if it's not in a positive manner. So it gives a narcissistic tendency. So I'm like, okay, well, I've been knew I was narcissistic in ways. A manipulator, an evil guy. And I think the only reason I do good deeds is to hide my shame. I feed the homeless, give money away, try to figure out how to, retire. Those things might be good innately, but are you doing it for the correct moral standard, or are you doing it to put up this facade or this perception of a great guy, or a great individual? That's why I always tell people that I'm not a good person. I'm an evil person, and nobody believes me until it's further on. Now I'm seen as the monster that has been cultivated throughout the seasons, and it's more I've been personified as something that's not human. And I think it's kind of, I wouldn't say corny, but I think it's kind of lackluster in a way, because you have so many people that be like, well, I'm just so aware of the situation and how the world is so cruel and nobody sees me, and not to downplay people who actually think like that, but it gets to a point where if you're so embarrassingly aggravating aware about life, why not do something about it? But if you're so aware you don't want to do anything about it, then what are you? You can't. You're not Icarus. You're not falling because you have almost touched the stars. You're not Prometheus. You didn't give men fire. You know. Right. You're not the dude. What's that dude's name that he's in a repetitive cycle, moving the rock up the hill, knowing he's gonna have to repeat the state. You're not that. So why treat this in a manner where you think you can get respect by being so-called different? You know. It's a formality, it's a facade, as I say. My pseudo-intelligence implies that. I am no smarter mere than the same order as you. I can, bundle up a couple fancy words, string it together, understand the concept, explain it to you, but I feel like that doesn't really show intelligence as some people say, you know? I can break down a thesis, I can do semi-rocket science, maybe on a level that's not as high as making one, but I can understand the concept. That doesn't make me smart, because innately, all you're doing is copying and pasting. You're regurgitating things you see. You're a mimic. I am a mimic of spirits of some sort, I would say, right? As I ramble on, some words might make sense to you, some might not. It's the connection between the two people, of individuals comparing thoughts, minds, and emotions, invoking things that some people won't understand, right? And I wanted to make a different ideology, but as I study more, I have come to the relapse that so-called every physiological, or psychological thought or ideology has been created already. So if you wasn't here first, I think that's why I hate not being first. And if I'm not the first of something, I used to hate losing. But it's crazy because all I did was lose. All I did was lose. Lose as a team, lose as myself. Losing yourself, everything was a competition, But once I figured out I'm not your first, or I'm not the first anything, or I'm not the first priority, I split, you know? It's not like I'm trying to avoid the reason of splitting. I'm splitting because if I'm not on the fairground and I'm on a plateau and it's damn near sinking like rainfall, I might as well go. I might as well, you know? There's nothing to show. Nothing to show. It gives on a flow, A flow state that just doesn't resonate. It's perplexing, Some things are nonsensical. Some things make sense, It's always a vague, fence-sitting statement when it comes to people thinking. Right? You and me, But you might be higher in me than emotionally and intelligent. You might be smarter than me, and you understand that the things that I'm saying might be flawed in your brain because you think differently, because of the environment, the way you're raised on, and the people you're around. Don't get me wrong, my family's fucked up completely on both sides. I don't even know how I'm created. I think that's why I'm supposed to be so fucked up. But I think since I'm aware of it, I'm not such as a dickhead that I supposedly think I am. But maybe I think I'm just this horrible person because not that I'm surrounding my people. I'm not surrounded by horrible people, but I was born with horrible people that just made mistakes, but they have changed supposedly. you got to think adults are just like us. They're on the world the first time, so I wouldn't say give them some leeway, but hey, cut them some slack here and there, I guess. But there's no more slack to be cut. All the slack is gone. It's so loose that you can't even tie it. Emotionally speaking, we tend to vent, and I think my music will maybe cultivate that in some type of way. But if not, the YouTube videos will. Shit. If not, the YouTube videos will. Why? Hey. That's what I'm saying. Just come on. Come. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Hey. I'm not chasing you, bro. I could chase him. Square up then. Square up. Square up, bro. Come on, square up. Come on, get you one. Come on, what you want to do? You bought that? Come on, swing. Come on. Hey. I'm tired, bro. You got it. Alright. We're not gonna stay here for long because it's kind of cold, as you can see. And when it's cold, I hate running in the cold because my lungs be hurt. Everybody be saying they having asthma until that shit's really hit. You know what I'm saying? But we ain't got no pump because I don't got asthma. You know what I'm saying? Deuce, come on. Deuce, come on. Come here, Deuce. What you on about, ball? Left. Alright, tired. And another thing. Wait, hold on.